Dr. Blackstock, I really wanted to see your face as I read that piece from the Washington Post to get a preview of where you're going to go with this. But talk to us about what the CDC's new guidance means in practice and what this relaxed strategy is going to look like going forward.
Essentially, we're almost going back to sort of pre-pandemic normal. Children no longer have to quarantine if they're exposed. They no longer have to test at days 5 and 7. So there's a test to stay approach that if they are exposed, they can stay in class, but they have to test on days 5 and 7. And if they're negative for COVID, they can actually stay in class. They're still recommending universal masking, but again, it's simply a recommendation. Alicia, we've talked about this so many times. I feel there's almost a paradox with relaxing these guidelines at this time. We still, this country has over 1 million people dead from COVID. We are leaders in that way. We have about 500 to 700 people dying a day from COVID, 40,000 people hospitalized. And, we are heading into the cold weather. People are going back to school. And I'm concerned that so there is this paradox there of what is actually going to happen by relaxing these guidelines. And I can understand if the public actually is a little bit confused, because if we look at the numbers, things don't look very good. But then on one hand, the CDC and the Biden administration are relaxing the guidelines. And so that really, there's a sort of a cognitive dissonance there. And I think the public needs to really understand why these decisions are being made. And to be honest with you, Alicia, they say because the population, there's more population immunity. The fact is that only a fraction of people over 50 years old have had their second booster. So we really don't have that population immunity that they say. And we have these new variants that really, we don't know how they're going to behave, right? We don't know what the next variant will be able to do. So I think it is better to keep some of these guidelines in place, especially if there are surges, and we know that there are going to be surges to come.
So that is the overall guidance. Of course, educators will still make decisions, faculty members will still make decisions, parents will still make decisions. What's your guidance then as we head into the fall?
Yeah, so Alicia, people always ask me, do your children still wear masks to school? My children, I have a 5 and 7-year-old, they still wear masks because right now, and it has been for quite a while, transmission levels are still high. So my children still mask in school. If I were to hear of an exposure in their class, I would definitely test them. And unfortunately now we don't know if we'll be notified as parents if there's a positive case in their class. But I will definitely still test them if we are in high-risk environments. We still have tons of rapid tests at home, and I will be requesting more so that I can test them. And I would also make sure that, the rates of children, especially elementary school age children who are vaccinated, are still quite low. We still need more children vaccinated. So I would say if there are any parents on the fence about getting their children vaccinated and boosted, to please do so before the school year starts.